Introducing A2L.
Hey, I'm Max. This time I got a few BambuLab's new machine, A2Ls, and when I was assembling it, I was thinking, although all the parts, they are pretty much all newly designed, but from a distance, these two, like from the A1, they look exactly the same, like other than the size of it. So is there even a difference? Oh boy, there is. After a few testings, I found a few things that are really interesting. The first thing is that they switched the extruder motor from the stepper to a servo motor. This could make the whole printing process more reliable, faster, and if you're printing multicolor, it's gonna be much faster color switching. The second is that the A1 could not really print big, tall parts, and this one could. To do that, on the hardware, they make the Y-axis belt super wide and super thick. In the chassis, they put a granular damper inside, so it kind of mitigates the vibration a little bit. And on the software side, they put an algorithm in it, so it monitors in real time how the tall part is shaking, vibrating. They can alter the whole movement system to deal with it. And apart from that, it's big, isn't it? And also, the price is only.
With shipping, it's $569 for AMS combo, $469 for A2L alone.
Ever since I got my hands on this machine, I was thinking about like, how should I test it? How should I do a review? I was thinking maybe like I should make a project or two, maybe the hexapod I've been working on for like forever, or maybe this life-size mecha girl, which is still just a sketch. But my friend told me that not everybody is gonna buy a printer and start his own project right away. Maybe the majority of them are just gonna print stuff from MakerWorld and call it a day, which is awesome. So I thought about it and gave my friend Andy Raiden a call and got his model and blew it up all the way till this. It's like 3 feet tall. And this way, by printing big, maybe we can have a little test of the A2L's limitations and capabilities. So let's start with the printing, shall we?
A small disclaimer, I did not print all the parts on A2Ls. Not because they can, but because I don't want to waste so much filament. For the parts that were showing in the video, they will print on the A2Ls, and I made sure they can give the printer a fail test.
Well, that's a lot of parts. I don't really know where to start. Maybe from this biggest one and this heaviest one. These two are the heaviest prints that I did on this machine, because when your model is this height, you have to put your center of gravity as low as possible, otherwise it's gonna tumble over. And this is just, well, it's kind of cute, and the ears, they're big, right? And the surface finish on these are pretty much perfect. I couldn't really tell if these are printed on the A2L or H2C. If you have ever used an A1 before, then you know that it's near impossible to print this kind of tall and big parts because of two main reasons. The first one is actually in the name. It's a bed swinger, so the bed is swings, right? So when you're printing taller, the vibrations from the Y-axis, they get amplified. So you get stuff like raining and ghostings on it. The second reason is actually even worse. When you're printing taller, it gets heavier, right? And when it gets to a point around like 1 to 1.5 kilograms, the Y-axis motor and the belt, they literally cannot pull the model this fast under this kind of weight. So either the stepper motor, it just skips steps, or even worse, the belt could slip, and that could cause some hardware problems. And what BambuLab did on the A2L this time is quite simple. They just upgraded the hardware. First, they switched the belt on the Y-axis into a 22mm wider one. And on the belt, I found something really interesting. We know that the idler wheel, not the one from the motor, like the one on the other side, it is smooth, right? But the belt, it has teeth. So when these two are touching, that could create something like belt ringing. What BambuLab did this time is that they added teeth to the belt while it's contacting the motor gears. And on the idler wheel, it is actually smooth. So this way, it's pretty much a win-win situation because you have wider belts. So the slipping scenario is pretty much avoided, and the ringing is much more controlled because it's smooth on smooth. And also the belts are wider and thicker, right? So the lifespan of the belt should be like a lot longer compared to the previous generation. And on the motor, they switched to a much beefier one. And with that, we get more torque, so we don't get layer shifts from the skipping of the motor. By switching up the motor and the belt, they pretty much solved the whole layer shift thing. So what about the whole vibration, ghosting, and ringing thing? What they did this time is with maraca thing. Well, it's actually called granular damper. It's like little steel balls inside a plastic container, like encased into the chassis. In theory, it should help with the whole vibration high thingy, but it's inbuilt and it's in the chassis. I'm not gonna just tell the machine apart just to look at them. But thinking about it now, BambuLab, those engineers, they are clever. Way more clever than me. If they spend so much time, R&D money, and human labor and effort into this, and they spend actual money into making this into the chassis, I think we should trust BambuLab. They know what they are doing. Well, to conclude the whole printing big part, from my prints like this heavy ones and these big ones, and my friend did a 4 or 5 kilo test on a single bed, and the result from that is that if you print anything up to 3 kilos, there is no noticeable artifacts, maybe even into like 4 kilo range. But that's more depending on like what kind of part you're actually printing. Is it like long and narrow or like big and like a pyramid kind of shape? And with that kind of result is pretty impressive. And compared to the A1, I will say it's a big step up. Well, so much for the tall and heavy parts. It's a BambuLab printer. We're gonna test the multi-color printing, right? Although I said that like on the H2C I printed these because it's so tall and heavy and like so much colors. I don't want to waste like 2 tons of filament just to print this single part. And at the same time, I handpicked a few models to be printed on the A2L to test its multi-color printing capabilities. And by doing that, I'm pretty happy that I did it because I found a few surprises. Before doing that, like all the single color prints are actually 2 color prints because I used the PLA support material for it. And on these, I printed them perfectly with the default printing profiles. The flushing, the color switching, the whole printing, no problem at all, just like on the A1. But when I was switching from this 2 color printing to this kind of 4 color printing, I was surprised because it was printing significantly faster than the A1. And from my friend's testings on a large size 4 color print, it saved up to half of the overall printing time compared to the A1. And my guess is that they use a servo motor on the extruder, right? So it flushes much faster and more aggressively than compared to the A1. So that's where the time is saved. And apart from the flushing speed, I actually noticed that it produced much less waste compared to the A1, maybe also thanks to the servo motor, I guess. And from my test, there is no color mixing or degradation in layer adhesion, not that I can see it. And also this time, to print this kind of stuff, like it's more than 4 colors, like this one is even 6. They added 6-pin female connector on the back of the machine, so you can plug the AMS2 Pro directly to it, unlike on the A1 you have to get some kind of dongle. Well, to give a little conclusion to this multi-color printing section, I will say the A2L is fast. They switch as fast, it purges fast, but the whole printing quality, because the A1, they set the bar so high that I don't really see any improvement in the printing qualities. But at the same time, like all BambuLab printers, like from A1 Mini all the way to the H2C, nobody really complained about the printing quality on any of the machines, right? Well, so much for the printing and review. Let's start with the actual assembly, alright?
About the assembly, there's really not that much to say. Because anyway, if you have seen his models, he's such a great artist. He knows not only how to make the models, he knows how to optimize for FDM printing. So all I really have to do is to glue things up. One interesting thing is that because the model got so heavy and so tall, the whole center of gravity thing is shifted to the left side for a little bit. The only solution we can think about is put some metal through her bones. Well, it's not so elegant, but it works. One last thing to do is to put Aniraden's name on the base. Cause I didn't make the model, I have to give the credit to him. Luckily the A2L's got just a tool. Similar to the H2 series, all we gotta do is to remove the front cover and clamp the module. It is the same story in the software using Bamboo Suite. We can import the design, adjust the size and orientation, then send it to the printer. Well, it's not really a printer right now, it's a cutting machine now I guess. All we gotta do is press start and voila! Bob's your uncle. After cutting, we can apply some spray paint. With all that, our little project is finally done. And the review comes to a conclusion.
to give a little conclusion about this A2L. Well, last time when I was reviewing the X2D, I said it's a productivity tool and not really a good choice for the first-timers. For the A2L, I still will say it's a great productivity tool. But for the first-timers, maybe not that great of a choice because I think it's more targeted towards semi-professional, if you know what I mean. Let me explain. When I just got my first 3D printer, I just went online and got other people's models to print. And then at a point, which I'm not really that pro, I cannot model that well, but there's one interesting thing I can do. It's like shrinking or enlarging the whole model, which think about it, if the original model is like this height, you can shrink it and put it on your table, or enlarge it and put it in your dining room. And that is really fun. If that's what you want to do, enlarging a print this big on the A2L is really a piece of cake. And to actually thinking about who I will recommend this machine to, if you print primarily PLA or PETG, not ABS or nylon, and you want to print it big, or you want to fit as many models on the plate as possible, and at the same time, you don't mind wasting a little bit more filament compared to H2C, but still, it purges fast compared to the A1, then this is a great printer for you. If none of the stuff I just said suits you, then maybe look into the A1 series or maybe XP or even the H2 series. Those might suit you better. Buy what you need, not what you think you need, my friend. I am Max. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.